प्रेयम् इतस्त्वन्यं प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परं जीवभूतमहाबाहो येदं धार्यते जगत् दैवी एषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतां तरन्ति ते बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभा अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं यः प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्त्यत्र संशया आब्रह्मभुवना लोका पुनरावर्तिनोऽर्जुन मामपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमं प्रत्यक्षावगमं धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम् मया ततमिदं सर्वं जगदव्यक्तमूर्तिना मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि न चाहं देशवस्थिता सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रता नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते यान्ति देवव्रता देवा पितॄन् यान्ति पितृव्रता भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज यान्ति मर्त्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्तिपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मना यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत् तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् समोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेषोऽस्ति न प्रिय ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम् अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विता तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते Okay. Can someone volunteer to read? Okay. Sections. Okay. Maybe we'll just. So the chapter 12, the name itself is also Bhakti Yoga. The first two seven verses, Bhakti is compared with Jnana, which is Brahmavat. Then 8 to 12, progressive stages of devotional service. And 13 to 20, qualities that endear one to Krishna. We'll try to complete the first two sections today. They are relatively small. This project can recite after me. Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna Uvacha
Evam Satatayukta Ye BhaktastvamParyupasate Ye cha
Evam
Yes, sorry.
Evam Satatayuktaye Bhaktasthvam Paryupasate
Ye chapyaksharam avyaktam Tesham ke yoga vittama.
Ye Chapyaksharam Avyaktam Tesham Ke Yoga Vittamaha.
Translation, yeah. First, here in this verse, Arjuna is asking the question to Krishna. So among bhakti and jnana, which is superior? So bhakti, he is referring to this thing. Evam satata yuktaye bhaktasvam tvam paryupasate. So here bhakta is like, in general devotion, if the devotion is directed to you, that is devotional service. So if that is that greater, or bhakti towards the aksharam and avyaktam, which is Brahman, which is referring to Brahman, Aksharam and Avyaktam. So Avyaktam means the unmanifest. So among this, which is Yoga Vittama, which is perfect and which is easy. K means what? Like if you see in the 6th chapter, the Yoginam api sarvesham adgaten antaratmanah. So there the yoga, the path of dhyana yoga and path of bhakti yoga. So bhakti yoga is told as superior to dhyana yoga. But now the bhakti yoga and jnana yoga is being compared. Or you can even say Nishkam Karma Yoga also. Yes, Prajit can read.
Krishna has now explained about personal, the impersonal, and the universal, and has described all kinds of devotees and yogis. Generally, the transcendentalists can be divided into two classes. One is the impersonalist, and the other is the personalist. The personalist devotee engages himself with all energy in the service of the Supreme Lord. The impersonalist also engages himself not directly in the service of Krishna, but in meditation on the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested. We find in this chapter that of the different processes for realization of the Absolute Truth, Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, is the highest. If one at all desires to have the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he must take to devotional service. Those who worship the Supreme Lord directly by devotional service are called personalists. Those who engage themselves in meditation on the impersonal Brahman are called impersonalists. Arjuna is here questioning which position is better. There are different ways to realize the absolute truth, but Krishna indicates in this chapter that Bhakti Yoga, or devotional service to him, is the highest of all. It is the most direct, and it is the easiest means for association with the Godhead. In the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord explained that a living entity is not the material body, he is a spiritual spark, and the absolute truth is the spiritual whole. In the seventh chapter, he spoke of the living entity as being part and parcel of the Supreme Whole and recommended that he transfer his attention fully to the whole. Then again in the eighth chapter, it was said that anyone who thinks of Krishna at the time of quitting his body is at once transferred to the spiritual sky, to the abode of Krishna. And at the end of the sixth chapter, the Lord clearly said that of all the yogis, one who always thinks of Krishna within himself is considered the most perfect. So, in practically every chapter, the conclusion has been that one should be attached to the personal form of Krishna, for that is the highest spiritual realization. Nevertheless, there are those who are not attached to the personal form of Krishna. They are so firmly detached that even in the preparation of commentaries to Bhagavad Gita, they want to distract other people from Krishna and transfer all devotion to the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. They prefer to meditate on the impersonal form of the Absolute Truth, which is beyond the reach of the senses and is not manifest. And so, factually, there are two classes of transcendentalists. Now, Arjuna is trying to settle the question of which process is easier and which of the classes is most perfect. In other words, he is clarifying his own position because he is attached to the personal form of Krishna. He is not attached to the impersonal Brahman. He wants to know whether his position is secure. The impersonal manifestation, either in this material world or in the spiritual world of the Supreme Lord, is a problem for meditation. Actually, one cannot perfectly conceive of the impersonal feature of the Absolute Truth. Therefore, Arjuna wants to say, what is the use of such a waste of time? Arjuna experienced in the 11th chapter that to be attached to the personal form of Krishna is best because he could thus understand all other forms at the same time and there was no disturbance to his love for Krishna. This important question asked of Krishna by Arjuna will clarify the distinction between the impersonal and the personal conceptions of the Absolute Truth.
Yeah, in 11th chapter, we could see that how Arjuna is attracted to the personal form of Krishna and being devotion and performing devotional service to the personal form of Krishna. Discussed in 6th chapter, Krishna compares it with Dhyana Yoga. Now, the contrast is happening between Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Now, Krishna is replying. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
श्रीभगवान् उवाच
Mayyavesya Mano Yema Nityayukta Upasate
मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते
Shraddhaya Parayopetas Te Me Yukta Tamo Tamamata.
श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect. Yuktatama mataha. Mataha, my opinion. Yeah. Now, Krishna is not saying that those who are worshipping impersonal Brahman or foolish or useless or something. Objectively, uh, Krishna is saying, the Lord said, I consider those who worship me, desiring to associate with me, constantly absorbing their minds in me, endowed faith, who are endowed with faith beyond the gunas, to be the best knowers of yoga. So three things: pure faith, constant absorption, and desire for eternal association. All these three things. Three things. Parashraddha. Parashraddha is transcendental faith. Nitya Yukta means with a desire to be eternally present, to be eternally associated with the Supreme Lord. Maya Veshya means with mind absorbed in me. So impure faith means like performing devotional service for material gain or liberation. Generally, if let's say the visitors coming to temple or something, they may be like some of, maybe most of them. Yes, Prajik, indeed, but
Purport. In answer to Arjuna's question, Krishna clearly says that he who concentrates upon his personal form and who worships him with faith and devotion is to be considered most perfect in yoga. For one in such Krishna consciousness, there are no material activities because everything is done for Krishna. A pure devotee is constantly engaged. Sometimes he chants, sometimes he hears or reads books about Krishna, or sometimes he cooks prasadam or goes to the marketplace to purchase something for Krishna, or sometimes he washes the temple or the dishes. Whatever he does not let a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. Such action is in full samadhi.
yeah. So we need to have also, it's important also to have a desire to be with to have eternal association with Krishna. So if we see some Lalasamai prayers like Tulsi Arati or like that, there are different prayers. And we can develop that desire by hearing from pure devotees and by reading Shastra. So so that desire, that conscious desire also is important. Because what we desire while performing bhakti, that only will attain. So that is also important. There are prayers like no Bhavantamevanucharam Nirantara, Prashanta Nishesha Manoratantara, Kataham Aikantika Nitya Kinkara, Prahashayishyami Sanata Jivita. So this is a prayer by Yamanacharya. So when will the day come when I'll be so eternally associated with you? So like that there are different prayers. So that also is important. Okay. Now Krishna is pointing out what are the difficulties in the path of worshipping the impersonal Brahman, worshipping or meditating it means. Ye tvaksharamanirdesyam avyaktam paryupasate.
ये त्वक्षरम् अनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते
Sarvatra gam achintyam cha kutastahm achalam dhruvam.
सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थम् अचलं ध्रुवम्
Sanniyemendriyam gramam sarvatra samabuddhaya.
सन्नियमेन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः
Te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhutahite rata.
ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः
But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed, and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engage in the welfare of all, at last achieving. The first shloka, Krishna is explaining the difficulties, and second shlokas, he is explaining what will be the destination. Those who worship my impersonal Swarupa, known as Brahman, are inferior because of their state of suffering. This the Lord states in two verses. This is the purport by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. Those who worship the Brahman, Aksharam, which is not possible to designate, Anirdesyam, which means which does not have any name, Anirdesyam, because it is without form or other qualities. Avyaktam, it doesn't have any qualities, it does not have any movements, all this. It cannot talk, cannot smell, all the things. And it is spread everywhere. It's not again focused in a single place, unlike Krishna. Krishna means he's a person, so he's present in Goloka, so that is there. And it is beyond logic, achintyam. Like Krishna also, the Krishna's form and all, they are also beyond logic. But Krishna's activities at least are logical, means they are human-like. So we can relate it, they're logical. If Krishna feels tired, he sleeps. If Krishna feels hungry, he eats. So there is some logic. But Brahman means Sachintya. Like how can something exist which does not have a name, which does not have a form, so it's difficult to conceive, and extending over all time, kutastam, it is achalam, there are no changes in it. So because of this, it's very difficult to relate with. It's very difficult to for an embodied being. Yeah, Krishna will come to that point also, especially for those who are attached to body, who are in bodily consciousness. It's very difficult to relate with what is Brahman, and very difficult to practice also. So then with that Brahman only, what you can do, you can only meditate on it, or you can try to understand it intellectually, etc. So Sambandha and Prayojana are very difficult to relate, and Abhideya is difficult. Like practice is difficult, and understanding is also difficult, and being motivated, like Prayojan, what you are going to achieve at the end is also difficult. So somebody says, okay, if you do this job, if you get this job, so to get this job, you have to study for 10 years and you will be happy. But if they ask, okay, how I'll be happy, how much salary you got, that all you cannot understand, but you will be happy. And what should I do in the job, that you will, so you have to meditate on emptiness or something. Of course, you say, yeah, okay, that is little difficult. But if somebody says like this, somebody does not give any details or you cannot relate to something, you will not be motivated to do something. But if you see bhakti, lot of it can be understood through relationship science. It is transcendental, but it can be understood through relationship science. So yeah, like when you love someone, you offer them food, you appreciate them, glorify them. So the same thing, like we offer food to Krishna, we glorify Krishna, we offer service to them. So similarly, you offer service to Krishna. It's easy to relate. Yes, bro, you can read purport.
Purport. Those who do not directly worship the Supreme Lord, Krishna, but who attempt to achieve the same goal by an indirect process also ultimately achieve the same goal, Sri Krishna. After many births, the man of wisdom seeks refuge in me, knowing that Vasudev is all. When a person comes to full knowledge after many births, he surrenders unto Lord Krishna. If one approaches the Godhead by the method mentioned in this verse, he has to control the senses, render service to everyone, and engage in the welfare of all beings. It is inferred that one has to approach Lord Krishna, otherwise, there is no perfect realization. Often, there is much penance involved before one fully surrenders unto him. In order to perceive the super soul within the individual soul, one has to cease the sensual activities of seeing, hearing, tasting, working, etc. Then one comes to understand that the Supreme Soul is present everywhere. Realizing this, one envies no living entity. He sees no difference between man and animal because he sees soul only, not the outer covering. But for the common man, this method of impersonal realization is very difficult.
Yeah.
Actual,
So yeah, that is notes. So
okay,
yes, like it is said in Bhagavatam, those who are attached, fully attached, they should perform karma yoga, and those who are not too much attached, not too much detached, they can perform bhakti yoga. But those who are fully detached, only they can perform jnana yoga. Like for jnana yoga, if you have to do, you have to take sannyas, because you have to, uh, because you are going to, the destination is there where you cannot do any activity. You just exist as consciousness, but you're not going to have any body. You're, unembodied. So 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 they have to stop all activities. They should just meditate, they should meditate on the knowledge. So, and they should always contemplate how this is an entanglement. Doing activities, associating with people is an entanglement. So this is how the process is. So it's difficult for many. And the destination is they are ultimately again going to attain Krishna only. Means Brahman is also Krishna. There is not difference, because both are absolute truth and both are Satchit Ananda. Only the difference, as we studied in Ishopanishad, is at Brahman only the Sat feature is manifested, whereas in Bhagavan both Sat, Chit, and Ananda, all three features are manifested. So that way, Krishna is saying they will attain me only, but it will take long time. It's very difficult. It's very difficult because of all these reasons. Anirdesyam, all this. Yeah. So yeah, like this is a like logical explanation from Shastra how the Jnana approach is difficult. So this is actually the actual Jnana approach, actual bona fide Jnana process. That's why difficult. Like the Mayavad and all, it's all like based on speculation. It seems easy, Yatopat, Tatomat, all these fancy things. For this, we have studied like how everything can lead to the same place. So Prabhupada gives analogies and all. You purchase ticket to Mumbai, how you can go to Delhi. So like for Mayavad and all, we have some other explanations. But for proper Jnana process, we have also these explanations. Krishna is giving further reasons. Klesho adhikatarastesham avyakta saktachetasam
क्लेशो अधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम्
avyakta hi gatirdukkam dehavadbir avapyate.
अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते.
For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Yeah, now it's little difficult to relate, or we may not come in our general interaction with society, these kind of people, but they exist. Yes, like they come to Kumbh Mela, or if you go to Himalayas, they may be meditating. Generally, like no sannyasis now prominently, they are practicing bhakti yoga, but generally like this Gyani type people, little difficult to understand. If you go to holy places and all, we can see these people. Means they also exist. It's not like this is something, uh, some imagination or something. Yes, Pro, you can read the purport.
Yes, Prabhu. The group of transcendentalists who follow the path of the inconceivable, unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord are called Jnana Yogis, and persons who are in full Krishna consciousness, engaged in devotional service to the Lord, are called Bhakti Yogis. Now, here the difference between Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga is definitely expressed. The process of Jnana Yoga, although ultimately bringing one to the ultimate goal, is very troublesome, whereas the path of Bhakti Yoga, the process of being in direct service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is easier and is natural for the embodied soul. The individual soul is embodied since time immemorial. It is very difficult for him to simply theoretically understand that he is not the body. Therefore, the Bhakti Yogi accepts the deity of Krishna as worshipable because there is some bodily conception fixed in the mind which can thus be applied. Of course, worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his form within the temple is not idol worship. There is evidence in the Vedic literature that worship may be saguna and nirguna, of the Supreme possessing or not possessing attributes. Worship of the deity in the temple is saguna worship, for the Lord is represented by material qualities. But the form of the Lord, though represented by material qualities such as stone, wood, or oil paint, is not actually material. That is the absolute nature of the Supreme Lord. A crude example may be given here. We may find some mailboxes on the street, and if we post our letters in those mailboxes, they will naturally go to their destination without difficulty. But any old box or an imitation which we may find somewhere but which is not authorized by the post office will not do the work. Similarly, God has an authorized representation in the deity form which is called Archa Vigraha. This Archa Vigraha is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. God will accept service through that form. The Lord is omnipotent, all powerful. Therefore, by his incarnation as Archa Vigraha, he can accept the services of the devotee just to make it convenient for the man in conditioned life. So, for a devotee, there is no difficulty in approaching the Supreme immediately and
Yes.
directly. But for those who are following the impersonal way of to spiritual realization, the path is difficult. They have to understand the unmanifested representation of the Supreme through such Vedic literatures as the Upanishads, and they have to learn the language, understand the non perceptual feelings, and realize all these processes. This is not very easy for a common man. A person in Krishna consciousness, engaged in devotional service, simply by the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master, simply by offering regulative obeisances unto the deity, simply by hearing the glories of the Lord, and simply by eating the remnants of foodstuffs offered to the Lord, realizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead very easily. There is no doubt that the impersonalists are unnecessarily taking a troublesome path with the risk of not realizing the absolute truth at the ultimate end. But the personalist, without any risk, trouble, or difficulty, approaches the Supreme Personality directly. A similar passage appears in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is stated there that if one ultimately has to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the surrendering process is called bhakti, but instead takes the trouble to understand what is Brahman and what is not Brahman, and spends his whole life in that way, the result is simply troublesome. Therefore, it is advised here that one should not take up this troublesome path of self realization because there is uncertainty in the ultimate result. A living entity is eternally an individual soul, and if he wants to merge into the spiritual whole, he may accomplish the realization of the eternal and knowledgeable aspects of his original nature, but the blissful portion is not realized. By the grace of some devotee, such a transcendentalist, highly learned in the process of Jnana Yoga, may come to the point of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. At that time, long practice in impersonalism also becomes a source of trouble because it cannot give up the idea. Therefore, an embodied soul is always in difficulty with the unmanifest, both at the time of practice and at the time of realization. Every living soul is partially independent, and one should know for certain that this unmanifested realization is against the nature of a spiritual blissful self. One should not take up this process. For every individual living entity, the process of Krishna consciousness, which entails full engagement in devotional service, is the best way. If one wants to ignore this devotional service, there is the danger of turning to atheism. Thus, the process of centering attention on the unmanifested, the inconceivable, which is beyond the approach of the senses, as already explained in this verse, should never be encouraged at any time, especially in this age. It is not advised by Lord Krishna.
Yeah. So yeah, the example is of the milk drinking brahmachari. So initially his path was more like jnana with maybe little bhakti, but he thought being renounced is bhakti, but it is not bhakti. The main process of bhakti is to be attracted to Krishna, to have faith in the process of chanting and hearing about Krishna. So that way, for them to come out of those conceptions and again to come to these conceptions, that also takes that is also a challenging thing. And again in Kali Yuga, because some they may be hypocrites, like we studied in the third chapter, that no, they may be externally renounced mithyachara sauchate, like no, they may be controlling the working senses, but their knowledge acquiring senses may not be controlled. Their eyes may be wandering here and there, ears may be hearing many things. So them, they will be pretenders if they are not, if they don't have higher taste. So that can happen. So that's why this process is not recommended in Kali Yuga. That's the point Prabhupada is making. And then Prabhupada is also supporting how the DT form is authorized, and it is easy to relate. Like somebody has a tendency to wear you know nice clothes and decorate beautifully. So these propensities can be easily no, it can be easily directed to serving the Lord, to serving the deities, and that way one will slowly come out of the bodily consciousness also. So the process is difficult, and though the goal is same in some way, like both are attaining the absolute truth only, the process is difficult and it's very difficult even to relate to it. And also Prabhupada made the point that they have to learn the language. They have to learn Sanskrit, because to really understand the deeper meaning of Upanishads and all, one has to learn the language. For Bhakti, these things are not so much needed. Means they have faith in the process of hearing and chanting. One can even read Shastra in English also. So that's not, but Jnana, it is, they have to do that things. Now, Krishna is telling what are the advantages in bhakti. So, in the last almost three shlokas, Krishna told the difficulties of the Jnana Yoga or the impersonalist path. Now, the Krishna is telling the benefits of bhakti yoga. Ye tu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya matpara
ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः
ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate
अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते
तेषामहं समर्दर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात्
तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात्
भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्.
भवामि नाचिरात् पार्थ मया वेशितचेतसाम्
But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death.
It is explicitly stated here that the devotees are very fortunate to be delivered very soon from the material existence by the Lord. In pure devotional service, one comes to the realization that God is great and that the individual soul is subordinate to Him. His duty is to render service to the Lord, and if he does not, then he will render service to Maya. As stated before, the Supreme Lord can be appreciated only by devotional service. Therefore, one should be fully devoted. One should fix his mind fully on Krishna in order to achieve him. One should work only for Krishna. It does not matter in what kind of work one engages, but that work should be done only for Krishna. That is the standard of devotional service. The devotee does not desire any achievement other than pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His life's mission is to please Krishna, and he can sacrifice everything for Krishna's satisfaction, just as Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. The process is very simple. One can devote himself in his occupation and engage at the same time in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotee to the personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord herein promises that without delay he will deliver a pure devotee thus
Thus engaged from the ocean of material.
engaged from the ocean of material existence. Those who are advanced in yoga practice can willfully transfer the soul to whatever planet they like by the yoga process, and others take the opportunity in various ways. But as far as the devotee is concerned, it is clearly stated here that the Lord Himself takes him. The devotee does not need to wait to become very experienced in order to transfer himself to the spiritual sky. In the Varaha Puran, this verse appears Nayami paramam sthanam archiradi gatim vina garudaskandam aropya yathecham manivaritaha. The purport of this verse is that a devotee does not need to practice Ashtanga Yoga in order to transfer his soul to the spiritual planets. The responsibility is taken by the Supreme Lord Himself. He clearly states here that He Himself becomes the deliverer. A child is completely cared for by his parents, and thus his position is secure. Similarly, a devotee does not need to endeavor to transfer himself by yoga practice to other planets. Rather, the Supreme Lord, by his great mercy, comes at once, riding on his bird carrier Garuda, and at once delivers the devotee from material existence. Although a man who has fallen in the ocean may struggle very hard and may be very expert in swimming, he cannot save himself. But if comes and picks him up from the water, then he is easily rescued. Similarly, the Lord picks up the devotee from this material existence. One simply has to practice the easy process of Krishna consciousness and fully engage himself in devotional service. Any intelligent man should always prefer the process of devotional service to all other paths. In the Narayaniya, this is confirmed as follows. या वै साधनसम्पत्ति पुरुषार्थचतुष्टये तया विना तदाप्नोति नरो नारायणाश्रयः. The purport of this verse is that one should not engage in in the different processes of fruitive activity or cultivate knowledge by the mental speculative process. One who is devoted to the supreme personality can attain all the benefits derived from other yogic processes, speculation, rituals, sacrifices, charities, etc. That is the specific benediction of devotional service. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, a devotee of the Lord can approach the supreme destination easily and happily. But this destination cannot be approached by any other process of relation. The conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is stated in the 18th chapter. सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः. One should give up all other processes of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life. There is no need for one to consider the sinful actions of his past life because the Supreme Lord fully takes charge of him. Therefore, one should not futilely try to deliver himself in spiritual realization. Let everyone take shelter of the supreme omnipotent Godhead, Krishna. That is the highest perfection of life.
Okay. So here in this shloka, like we saw in the 8th chapter, Like how if a yogi has to reach the spiritual sky, he has to take, no, it can be done only in a time that is conducive to the sun god, and he has to worship the sun god, all those things. And otherwise, if he worship the fire god, then he may go to heavenly planets, but not the spiritual sky. So these kind of restrictions are also not there in bhakti. Lord personally, the grace of the Lord is there. So Lord personally takes interest in delivering a devotee. So maybe we'll try to summarize it. Okay. Mm, This is this is this is Sambandha. This is analysis. Bhakti Yoga, easy to understand. Illiterates also. Relatability. Nameless. Formless. Complete realization. Like even if little the Gyani Yogi gets attached, he has to do again Prayashchitta and many other things. So that's difficulty. Bhakti is Sensitivities. Seeability. Rage. And
तुमने ये पोस्टर इधर रखो साइड हाँ
somebody is still muted.
हाँ हाँ वो बिल्डिंग में क्लास में
Okay. Now you can take around 5 minutes. So this is the summary of comparison. Now you can take around 5 minutes and you can think about this. Examples where Lord personally took devotees back to Godhead. And examples where devotees attained perfection in unusual circumstances. So in a sinful body, in a low-born body, in a cursed situation. So like that, some other situations also you can think. And then examples where Gyanis and Yogis fell from their perfection. Can take 5 minutes, then we'll discuss. Yes, for the first question.
Can I answer, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Gajendra was delivered by the Lord.
Yes, good. Okay, any other example?
Dhruv Maharaj.
Okay. Dhruv Maharaj. No, Lord gave darshan, but Lord did not come that time. It's okay. Okay. Yashraj, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanyavad. Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, as Prabhuji said, Gajendra from Bhagavatam, Bhishmata from Mahabharat, Haridas
Okay.
Thakur from Chaitanya Chaitamrit, Shabri
Okay,
from
okay, fine.
Ramayan. Yes,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
enough. Okay. Yes, Avatari Chetan, Prabhu.
Prabhu, Lord Ram practically took everyone in from Ayodhya back home with him.
Yes. Okay. Uh, Even Krishna also takes the Brajavasis. Yes, Sundari Subhadra Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu, Lord Ram only, and Haridas Thakur, Chaitanya he left his body.
You very nice. Now, second for the second question. Yes, Avatari Chetan, Prabhu.
Prabhu, practically speaking, all the Mahajanas were delivered in very extraordinary circumstances.
Yes.
For example, Bhishma Pitama, when he was lying in a very difficult condition.
Yes.
Bali Maharaj, then Vritrasur.
Yes. Okay, Prabhu. Yeah, we'll hear from others. Okay. Sundari Subhadra Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. So Prahlad Maharaj,
Yeah, when
because he
he's
was in a demonic family,
yes.
and Gajendra, although he was in the lower body of animal,
Yeah, subhuman species.
yes,
Yes.
and Jad Bharat, when he was in the body of deer, but although he got that remembrance.
Okay. Yes. Good examples. Thank you, Mata. Okay, Yashraj, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, as Prabhuji and Mataji already covered my all example, but there is a Shabri also, because Shabri is the law born, and at the time of her death, Lord Ram came and delivered her, and also the uh, Prabhuji, I forgot one example, Prabhuji. Sorry.
Yeah, Haridas Thakur also you can say is Loban. Yes, Shrikant, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, I was asking that only Haridas Thakur will come in low born.
Yes.
Yes, I have written
Okay,
it, but I was skeptical.
Okay. Yes, Shrikant, Prabhu, you can tell.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his yatra, one devotee was there who was leprosy. His body was
Okay.
very
Vasudev Lepar.
fast.
Yes. Thank you.
Can I answer, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Jatayu by Ram, Lord Rama.
Yes. Very nice example. It also
Thank you.
fits in both.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for nice points. Okay, now for the third. Yes, Shrikant, Prabhu.
Can we give example of Vishwamitra when he fell
We
down?
can.
When he was
Yes.
meditating.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Any other?
One forgot the name. He was inside the water, but he saw fishes and he got
Okay. Yeah. Shobari.
Saubri Muni.
Yes. Okay. Any other examples?
Prabhuji,
Azamil also.
Yes, Sundari Subhadra Mataji, you want to say?
Prabhuji, I have a question like about Durvasa Muni, because I don't understand if he falls in Bhakti category or he falls in Jnani and Yogi category.
Yeah, like some acharyas give this example, so that also can be considered.
Okay.
Of course,
So
ultimately he
Jnani,
got Bhakti.
can we?
Uh-huh. He's more
Because
into
he also
Jnana
fell
Yoga.
down, na,
Yes,
with respect to Ambrish Maharaj.
yeah. Yes. Okay, yes, Raj Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So Gajendra was in his previous verse, he was a great yogi named Indradhumna. So because
Okay.
he is very arrogant, so Agastya Rishi came and he cursed him. So you will be the elephant.
Okay. Yes, so they may have pride of renunciation. Yeah, so that is there. So yeah, so that example is there that for the devotee, the whole material world becomes a puddle of water, and though the other transcendentalists like Gyanis and Yogis, they may cross the entire material ocean, but they may fall in the puddle of their pride. So yeah, so there are some things, descriptions like that, comparisons like that. So that's why there is risky. It's a risky path that way. There are many chances of failure. Okay. So this is a more logical way to explain to people or show how bhakti is superior. Instead of just saying bhakti is superior or quoting some very shloka or some kind of statement. So this is a more objective way. Okay, we'll proceed with the next. We'll complete it. Next, the progressive sadhana. Krishna gives. It's in a decreasing order from the topmost to he goes lower level. Mayeva mana adatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya.
Mayyeva mana adhatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya.
Mayeva ata udvam na samshaya.
Nivasishyasi mayyeva ata urdhvam na samshayah.
Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always without a doubt. As purport.
Purport: one who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. So there is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane, he lives in Krishna. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. When he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables, and the devotee becomes Krishnaized by eating the remnants. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so, although this is a process recommended in the Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literatures.
That's what like Krishna is personally present, personally is conscious of every act of a devotee. That's what Prabhupada is highlighting. Okay, so you can think for around 2 minutes. Okay, we'll take 3 minutes. Yeah, can think for around 3 minutes how we can offer intelligence to Krishna and how we can offer our mind to Krishna, and we'll discuss. Every shloka will have some discussion. These are practical. Okay, so for the first question, how can we offer our intelligence to Krishna? Yes, Praja, Avtari Chaitanya. Hare Krishna.
Oh,
Avtari
sorry,
Chaitanya,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu. I was speaking on mute. I didn't realize.
Okay, okay,
Prabhu,
sorry,
we
sorry.
can use our intelligence to understand the scriptures, understanding Sambandha
Yes,
Gyan, how we are not the body, we are spirit soul, what is our
yes,
relationship with Krishna,
yeah.
Krishna's superior position. All these things we can use intelligence to understand them.
Yes, yes.
Then, yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Then,
Raj, Prabhu. Yes.
yes, Prabhu.
I'm sorry, sorry, sir. Please continue.
No problem, Prabhu. Prabhu, all projects, they require the use of intelligence, whether it is
Okay.
organizing a program or whatever,
Hmm.
constructing
Yes,
temple,
yes,
everything. For
yes,
preaching
yes,
purposes, we can use intelligence. For engaging devotees, for engaging ourselves also, we require intelligence.
yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. Very nice. Okay, yes, Raj, Prabhu, want to add?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So as Prabhuji has already covered, yeah, so we can use our intelligence. So whatever skills we have, because it's a part of our intelligence, so we can use in the service of Krishna. Like even if some we know somebody who have the great skill, so we can engage them also by using our intelligence. How can we use like Maya used Krishna used Maya to construct the Maya Mahal in this thing, Prabhuji. So
Okay.
intelligence, it's maybe intelligence of our and it may be intelligence of other. If we have more intelligence, so we can use other intelligence also in service of Krishna.
Yes, yes, yes. Good. Of course, engaging others' intelligence, yeah, that case will come. This is like those who are also Krishna conscious. Prabhupada also tells about even earning wealth, like while explaining praner arther diya vacha. He also says even earning wealth also needs intelligence. So if you earn wealth and if you give to Krishna, that is also using intelligence. But of course, for that one also has to be Krishna conscious sufficiently. Then only it becomes. Otherwise, it comes into the other category, which we will see. Okay, now how can we offer our mind to Krishna?
Can
Yes,
I answer,
Shrikant Pro.
Prabhuji?
Okay, Prabhuji, you can answer.
No, please let him answer.
Okay, Shrikant Pro, you can tell.
The mind is like mostly the mind gets engaged when we are like in the kirtan, whatever we have the tendencies, right? Like in dramas or in kirtan or different art forms where the mind can
Yes,
be
yes, yes.
engaged and
Yes,
occupied.
yes. Yes, yes, nice. Okay, yes, Vaikuntha Bihari Prabhu.
Mind can be applied in constantly thinking about Krishna, serving about Krishna. Uh, in NOD, it is given when Krishna is in the center of the mind. There is no question of mind is getting irritated.
Yeah, yeah, like chanting is one way to engage
Yeah.
in Krishna. Yes, Sundari Subhadra Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, so
Yes.
there are 2 points to this. The simple answer is that we can think about Krishna and we can offer our mind by doing our prescribed duties. But if we look at the practical aspect, it is difficult to simply absorb our mind in Krishna. So the answer is given to that is that the mind, although it is superior to our senses, but it is always absorbed where the senses are engaged. So the ultimate answer for this is that by engaging our senses in Krishna consciousness, we can practice to absorb or offer our mind to Krishna.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes, yes. Yeah, correct. That's a logical understanding. Yes, it is difficult, but this is one way. And yes, also offering prayers also is one way where mind can be like emotions, mind can be absorbed in Krishna. Mind can be engaged in Krishna. Of course, here Krishna is saying mind should be absorbed, so that is difficult. But
Yes.
so that's why this verse is applies more for Bhava Bhakti or Raganuga Bhakti. You see, bit advanced. Someone else. Okay. Yeah. Because Krishna told Mayeva, it should be only absorbed in Krishna. So that's why this verse is more referring to Bhava Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. Yes, we may be doing at some points in life or something, but now Krishna is saying, now for those who cannot do this, what they should do. Atta chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mayi stiram
अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम्
abhyasa yogena tato mamichaptam dhananjaya.
अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय.
Translation, my dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Like, this is the translation given by Vishnu Chakravarti. Those who can check the movements of the mind, which are like the Ganga, will certainly attain you quickly. But I don't have such abilities. How can I attain such power of mind? He's giving it as a conversation. So Arjuna is asking this question and Krishna is replying. If you cannot offer Adatam your full consciousness with complete ease, some to me, in such a way that it is steady, stiram, then try Icha to attain me by the fixation method. Withdrawing the mind which wanders to other objects, gradually fix it in me and practice this repeatedly. Abhyasa yogena. When your mind becomes devoted to me by this method, attaining me will be okay. Let's purport. Sorry.
In this verse, two different processes of Bhakti Yoga are indicated. The first applies to one who has actually developed an attachment for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by transcendental love. And the other is for one who has not developed an attachment for the Supreme Person by transcendental love. For the second class, there are different prescribed rules and regulations one can follow to be ultimately elevated to the stage of attachment to Krishna. Bhakti Yoga is the purification of the senses. At the present moment in material existence, the senses are always impure, being engaged in sense gratification. But by the practice of Bhakti Yoga, these senses can become purified, and in the purified state, they can come directly in contact with the Supreme Lord. In this material existence, I may be engaged in some service to some master, but I don't really lovingly serve my master. I simply serve to get some money. And the master also is not in love. He takes service from me and pays me. So there is no question of love. But for spiritual life, one must be elevated to the pure stage of love. That stage of love can be achieved by practice of devotional service performed with the present senses. This love of God is now in a dormant stage in everyone's heart. And there, love of God is manifested in different ways, but it is contaminated by material association. Now, the heart has to be purified of the material association, and the dormant, natural love for Krishna has to be revived. That is the whole process. To practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, one should, under the guidance of an expert spiritual master, follow certain principles. One should rise early in the morning, take bath, enter the temple and offer prayers and chant Hare Krishna, then collect flowers to offer to the deity, cook foodstuffs to offer to the deity, take prasadam, and so on. There are various rules and regulations which one should follow, and one should constantly hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees. This practice can help anyone rise to the level of love of God, and then he is sure of his progress into the spiritual kingdom of God. This practice of Bhakti Yoga, under the rules and regulations, with the direction of a spiritual master, will surely bring one to the stage of love of God.
Yeah. So it's like churning the heart. Sadhana bhakti is like churning the heart. And so that with that, the anarthas will go away and slowly the love will manifest by the mercy of the Lord. So this you'll technically understand while discussing NOD. So you can take again 3 minutes. And of course, what is Abhyas in Bhakti? Prabhupada has told in the last paragraph. Maybe if you can tell from a more ISKCON context or no some other things which are more practical, so that which Prabhupada expects or no which are generally important for devotees, you can add. And second, like what factors are needed to ensure consistent and proper abhyas, that you can think about. Discuss. Yes, for the first, any additions of Shishaj from?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, as the first question, what is Abhyas in Bhakti? So, we generally know all the process. How can we chant, how to chant, how to make garland, how to do deity worship, and we can learn. But after the course of time, it may be just like a functional process or maybe mechanical process. So, we have to always try to use. We have to try, like our bhakti should not be mechanical. We have to make some emotion in it, and we have to connect ourselves with Krishna, because it should not be mechanical chanting or mechanical process or mechanical deity worship, because Prabhupada also mentioned that if Hare Krishna, yeah, if there is no emotion in bhakti, so it's maybe like a karm card. So we don't have to forget the spirit behind the every process.
Okay. Yeah, of course, you answered the second question. Okay, yeah, consciousness is important. Okay, fine. Okay, maybe first question I will only answer. Second question only you can think of and raise hands. So for the first question, yeah, like Prabhupada has talked about deity worship, taking prasadam, and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees. So also it's important. Of course, we can always hear Srimad Bhagavatam from, means whomever devotees we are staying, that is to discuss, that is also important. But also from pure devotees, from advanced devotees, that is also important. And even Bhagavatam also many times that is emphasized, hearing from advanced devotees. And also goodness, like Prabhupada told about rising early in the morning, other things. Of course, morning program in one sense, that also one has to see how often one can attend, so that, and over time, the frequency and the amount of morning program we are attending can increase whatever possible. That is one of the important things. So Abhyas, we should always try how to improve in quality and quantity. And another is also rendering some service in the mission, whatever, on a regular basis. That is also one important Abhyas. Like even Vaisheshik Prabhu also says that book distribution is a sadhana. So that also is something important, which of course Prabhupada did not highlight, but that is also Prabhupada highlights in other places. Okay, and of course for Grihasthas also contributing to the movement. Prabhupada discussed in the next ones, but also it also is a kind of a abhyas, serving the spiritual master. It can come. Whatever. Okay, the first question. Okay, for second, some more we can take. Sundari Subhadra Mata. Okay, just a minute. Sorry. Okay, Sharad Prabhu, Sharad Murari.
Yes, to the association of devotees, regular association with devotees is primary. I will.
Yes, yes. It is important so that we get inspiration, and we may get also some appreciation, will be motivated, especially physical association on a regular basis. Virtual is also okay, but with spiritual. And Sundari Subhadra Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. So association is there, and Dham Yatra. So it timely Dham Yatra, it inculcates the love again and again, and service. So if we get some pride, or if even we are mechanical at times, so service is the thing which keeps us grounded and revive our bhakti.
Yes, yes. Okay, yes. Okay, thank you. Of course, one of the factors to study. So study is important, like studying Shastra is important, so that we are always reminded of our the purpose. As Yashras Pro also told, being connected with the purpose. Yes, Shrikant Pro, you have some point?
So for consistency, one point was that to have a proper system, like we have these classes, so, and we have exams. So then we'll be more consistent and we ourselves doing it on our own endeavor.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Fortunately, now there are classes on other books, and other courses are also there apart from only the standard courses. So it is good, especially those who are busy on the weekdays with job and all. It helps. Otherwise, one may get carried away in different things. So the study and all, it helps the courses. It is good. Okay. Yes, Dham Yatra is important. One of the important abhyas. Oh, I'm sorry. Especially the Panchanga Bhaktis is important. You'll study in NOD. So deity worship, chanting, hearing Bhagavatam, doing service to Vaishnavas, and Ram Seva. Yes. This is more about sadhana bhakti. Means engaging our senses in the service of Krishna, engaging body, mind, senses in the service of Krishna with a desire to attain Krishna. In the service of Krishna with a desire to attain Krishna. Under the guidance of Shastra. The 64 regulative principles, of course, 4 regulative principles also. It has both pravritti and nivritti. So, yeah, we'll complete the 2 verses. Of course, we started late, so we'll take 15 more minutes or so. Now Krishna is telling if one cannot practice sadhana bhakti, what he can do. So verse by verse, we can see how Krishna is so accommodating. Krishna is so large-hearted. You can see how Krishna is Karuna Sindhu. We can see this. अभ्यासेपि असमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव
अभ्यासेऽपि असमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव
मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिम् अवाप्स्यसि
मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिम् अवाप्स्यसि
If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me. Because by working for me, you'll come to the perfect stage. So it's both work and for me. So one has to be also conscious, one is doing it for Krishna. So Baldev Devasham again, he gives in a conversation format. Arjuna is saying, as the mind is fickle like the wind, I don't have the power to restrain it. So someone cannot follow, he cannot follow the four regs, not all the time. So that is one thing, and cannot fix the mind, chant so many rounds every day and all. So this is for them. If you cannot gradually fix the mind by practice, be a person whose activities being offered to me led to the highest goal, mat karma parama. Such activities were previously described as building my temple and watering my flower garden. When you do these activities which are performed on my behalf by the power of directing all those activities to my very attractive form, your mind will become absorbed in me, that attractive form, and you will attain a position close to me, Siddhi. By this method, one can very easily attain me. Kurvan siddhim avapsasi. You will come to the perfect stage. Yes, Pro, you can read.
One who is not able even to practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of a spiritual master can still be drawn to this perfectional stage by working for the Supreme Lord. How to do this work has already been explained in the 55th verse of the 11th chapter. One should be sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. There are many devotees who are engaged in the propagation of Krishna consciousness and they require help. So, even if one cannot directly practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, you can try to help such work. Every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, and labor. Just as in business, one requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor, and some organization to expand. So the same is required in the service of Krishna. The only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is spiritual activity. If one has sufficient money, he can help in building an office or temple for propagating Krishna consciousness, or he can help with publications. There are various fields of activities, and one should be interested in such activities.
Yeah.
If one cannot sacrifice the results of his activities, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage to propagate Krishna consciousness. This voluntary service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one rise to a higher state of love of God, whereupon one becomes perfect.
Yeah. So you can take 3 minutes. You can think of examples from Shastra, or you can take examples from Prabhupada's Leelamrut, or you can take examples from your own experience of where people took to bhakti by starting with performing some service. So you can think of some examples. You can need not tell some names if it is from contemporary time. Otherwise, you can tell names. And yeah, second is what all services newcomers can take up. Yeah, what all ways one can be engaged. You can think of and we'll discuss. Yes, for the first question. Okay, Yashraj Prabhu can tell.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, in the Prabhupada Leela, Jai Pataka, actually Jayanand Prabhu engaged Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj in the service of Rath Yatra cart making. So by
Yeah.
doing that service, he engaged in the Krishna's bhakti. And another example is the Jadurani Mataji. So Prabhupada told her, you are very good in calligraphy, so you should make the paintings and the logo design, so many things.
Is Yamuna Mataji, na? Calligraphy?
Uh,
I think so.
I think Jadurani Mataji made the paintings.
Jadurani Mataji also painted. Calligraphy, I think Yamuna Mataji. But okay. Yamuna Mataji is also a good example. First, she helped Prabhupada in cooking the feast for her sister's marriage. Then slowly after that, she became devotee. Okay. Anyone else?
Can I answer, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
There was a small child known as Malti Mataji.
Saraswati.
So Prabhupada used to ask, she used to tell, like Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Prabhupada used to say that even the child knows also that Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead.
Yes. Okay, yes. Nice. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, anyone else? Yes, Sharad Murari Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. From Bhagavatam, Narad Muni also in his previous life, in his childhood, he rendered service to Mahatma.
Yes. Okay, yes, nice examples. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, Prakashanand Saraswati, he first offers service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he becomes transformed. Because that happens quite instantly. Yes, Avatari Chaitanya Prabhu.
Prabhu, in our temple, there are so many examples. Somebody started electrical work in Kunjabihari temple. They are now initiated devotees. Somebody started plumbing. So just by rendering service, they have become devotees.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Like I also know one devotee. He was a topper in ITBHU. He was attracted to devotees, but he was not so keen on taking to devotional service. But he was attracted to one service, vessel washing. So for every program, he used to come and used to do vessel washing, and he continued. He took some time, but eventually he joined ashram. He did also a lot of service in Pune, gave also a lot of donation. Now he's in GV, and he chants also every day 32 rounds. So he's now serving in GV. So okay, now for second question. Like yes, Shrikant Prabhu.
One service is just prasadam serving, right? Seva.
Okay.
Something I feel is newcomers like it also, and they feel that satisfaction of serving.
Subhadra Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. So, temple decoration, if they are creative, then if some feast is there, so vegetable cutting seva is there for Mataji's, even Prabhuji's, and book distribution also. Like if they come and when we give them the book and they are curious to have that knowledge, so it's a natural tendency to explain. So they will feel very good. So book distribution is also there. Then donations, like some people they are very good at dan and all, so we can engage their money. And then garland making is also there. So because these are the things which are very common when people come to temple, so they know that these are the standards, so they engage very easily.
Okay. Yes, we will take from others. Thank you. Okay, Yashraj Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So I think my all points are covered. Actually, in general in India, the people are very so much interested in the service, especially in the Lord service. So whatever service which is out of the deities, like That Mata said, the cleaning and the making garland, creativity, especially in the creativity, people are very interested to do some creative work. So yes, Puji, it's a very great option.
Yes, yes. Okay, Amrita Mataji, you want to say something?
Yes, Prabhu. Newcomer like young girls and boys are very interested in Sankirtan also, Prabhu. Means dancing
Yes.
and singing, all those
Okay.
things.
Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. Yes. Yeah, playing instruments and all, that is also a good thing. Yes, thank you. Even children also, they also, some of them, some exceptional rare cases may fall in the second one, but many also fall in the third category, especially when they have not come to, when they are below 16, or they cannot understand philosophy and all, but they have some attraction, and they have some sukruti, so they also come on this category. Okay, the last shloka. अतएतत् अपि आसक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रिता
अथेतदपि असक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः
सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्.
ततः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यथात्मवान्.
So yes, if they cannot do directly towards Krishna because of because they are in a particular position in the society, or they don't have time or something, then Krishna is giving solution for them also. They can do something selfless. No, falatyagam, karma falatyagam. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Like Baladev Dyabhushan. If you or others are not able to do these activities, such as cleaning my temple, which are very easy and pleasing to me, if you are prevented by obstacles such as being the leader of a great family, take shelter of my protective nature, Madhyogam Ashrita, and perform all activities which are to be performed with renunciation of the results, with controlled mind, Yatatmavan. By performance of fire sacrifice and full moon sacrifices, devoid of desire for results, which are form of worship of me. Knowledge arises within the person like the lotus arising from the muddy water. So, if one acts selflessly under Shastric, with some Shastric understanding, then slowly that knowledge, he will slowly develop that realization of Atma, etc. One realizes one's position and Paramatma's position as servant and master, and then realizes the supreme position of the Lord. Gradually, supreme bhakti will manifest. Yes, Prabhu.
It may be that one is unable even to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness because of social, familial, or religious considerations, or because of some other impediments. If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objections from family members or so many other difficulties. For one who has such a problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to some good cause. Such procedures are described in the Vedic rules. There are many descriptions of sacrifices and special functions for the full moon day, and there is special work in which the result of one's previous action may be applied. Thus, one may gradually become elevated to the state of knowledge. It is also found that when one who is not even interested in the activities of Krishna consciousness gives charity to some hospital or some other social institution, he gives up the hard earned results of his activities. That is also recommended here because by the practice of giving up the fruits of one's activities, one is sure to purify his mind gradually. And in that purified stage of mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's mind. But if there are impediments to accepting Krishna consciousness, one may try to give up the results of his actions. In that respect, social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country, etc., may be accepted so that someday one may come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 18.46, we find it is stated, Yatha pravrittir bhutanam. If one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, Even if he does not know that the supreme cause is Krishna, he will come gradually to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by the sacrificial method.
Okay, yeah. So people may be favorable, but they may not have time. They may not have time to, chant or come to temple and do something, or they cannot take up to direct devotional service. Means they may not have the Shraddha or Sukruti also. So they can do something selfless. Of course, as devotees, one should try to at least connect them with
Sorry.
Shastra. One can try to give them inspiration from Shastra, like Mahabharata. Instead of from some maybe mundane motivational content, can give inspiration from Shastra like Mahabharata, Ramayana. If one is a king, so if one is in a leadership position, they can inspire him from the example of Lord Ram or Yudhishthir Maharaj, uh, like that. So that they will slowly, they will be, and also from Shastra, they can say how they can be more selfless, what are the benefits of being selfless. Also, like even for parents also, so one can give some examples or from some subhashitas, or how one should be a good parent from a shastric point of view. So they will, and we can give also the knowledge of Atma, so that uh, they'll be that can also motivate one to be responsible. So that way slowly we can connect them, and they will take their own time. Like Prabhupada also, like Prabhupada had many well-wishers in India, but and they were already like, they took initiation from some other gurus, etc. But they were attracted to Prabhupada, they wanted to help Prabhupada. So he engaged them. He did not tell them no, not to follow their guru and all. He engaged them. They contributed money and all. So that way. Of course, that will come more under third verse, but also in some way, like fourth verse also. So, so piety. So this fourth verse is more they're pious. So we can do them nishkam karma more, more shastric based and more on the basis of knowledge of Atma. And those who have devotional attraction like Sukruti they can do direct service to Krishna. But they may not do very strict regulated sadhana, they may not do. And those who have devotional faith means Shraddha means Shastri Shraddha, like they have Shraddha based on Shastra, teachings of Shastra. So they can take to Sadhana Bhakti, means regulated, chanting, following for regulative principles, all this. Then those who do it perfectly, they'll have devotional taste and they can practice Raganuga Bhakti or Bhava Bhakti. So this is like a slow process. So we have to see if we are trying to do outreach preaching, so we can see who is at what level and what they can take. All may not fit in one thing, so we have to see all this. Okay. Any questions on what we discussed today? Or any questions about CBE, shloka recitation or something?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandat pranam.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu.
Tomorrow I won't be able to give the exam.
Yeah, so you can,
I can give on
tell.
some other day.
You can, yeah, you can tell you can write a message stating the reason and when you can give.
Yes, Prabhuji. I'll inform you. I'll send the message to you.
You can even give audio message, no problem, whatever you're comfortable.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Grateful to you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mother.
Prabhuji, I don't know if it is the problem with me only. Kids' exams are also scheduled in the same week. So can we just postpone the sir? In my case, it is starting from 10th only. So it is like overlapping. I would not be able to read, but I don't know if it is the problem for all.
You can give on another date. I don't think so. You give at a later date, but if you postpone it indefinitely, that becomes like pending. So can have some clarity on when you will give, and you can write. And OB at least you can try to write. That will be good. Postponing both will be. It's generally observed that will be remain pending only. Okay, Yashraj, bro.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
What will be the timing of sloka recitation exam tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow we'll have from 4:30 to 6:30. So it may sometimes it may go beyond. So we're starting early. Yeah, we'll try to go alphabetic wise. Again, whoever joins means if somebody is joining late, then that is also okay. Okay, but also those whose attendance is who are falling short of attendance, they can hear the recordings and submit notes. It is good if it is done by Wednesday. Otherwise, last minute it becomes difficult to accommodate and all. Okay, yes, Shrikant Pro, say something.
Prabhuji, tomorrow class will be there, no? We'll have class after the
No class. No class. We need
then
only
it will
one
be
more
on.
class. It will be on Saturday.
Okay.
Next Saturday.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay. Why
Next
I
Saturday
asked
will.
because for that 75% attendance, we can consider that attendance also, right? Of Saturday's class.
Yes, Saturday's class. Yes.
So okay. Okay, Prabhu. Right.
Okay. Yes, Amrita Mataji.
Prabhuji, I will join at 5 only because I have
No
counselor
problem.
meeting.
No problem. Okay, I hope it's done. So yes, whoever is falling short, please do it in time. Okay. Okay, thank you
Prabhuji, I
very
did
much.
not got the answer. I mean, can the exam be given next week? Written exam.
Next week, it
I
is there
mean,
next Sunday.
no, next week in the sense it is scheduled on 10th,
Next Sunday.
8th or 9th or 10th. So
Yeah, it is
can that be given next week?
next week to that.
Yes, next week to that.
It can be given. You need to just contact the BVRV office. They will arrange.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
But yeah, please don't postpone it indefinitely.
No,
That becomes
Prabhuji.
problem.
Actually, my kids' exams are just starting from the next day, and he will not study. And if I will sit with my books, it will be very difficult for me to make him study.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila
Thank you,
Prabhupada ki
Prabhu.
jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Okay.
Thank you.
Panchakalpatarubhyashu.
Sasindu Vacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaः.